right away tomorrow will bring. Oh, you hear the voice of freedom, telling you this and this will be down. No matter how hard reality seems, just hold on to the dream, yeah.
Live from Washington, D.C., you're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I am your host and chief White House correspondent, Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey. I'm in touch, and so you be in touch. Be sure to follow me on all the social media platforms at Dr. Nii-Quartelai. That's it, DrNiiQuartelai. Pro tip, just type in Dr. Nee, DrNii, and I pop right on up. Also, be sure to download the KBLA app to listen to us live or on demand, or simply tell Alexa to play KBLA Talk 1580. And last but certainly not least, subscribe to A More Perfect Union podcast. That way, you can listen to us everywhere you go. If you're in the grocery store line, the TSA line, and everything in between, we got you covered here from the White House to your house. It is your daily political news digest. And with that, digest this, your national news roundup. It's time for the good, bad, and ugly headlines of the day. And kicking us off, AOC introduces articles of impeachment against Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. The Guardian is reporting that the Democratic Congresswoman, AOC, has introduced articles of impeachment against conservative U.S. Supreme Court Justices Clarence Thomas and Samuel Alito. This is what her office said in a statement released just today. It follows calls from two U.S. senators, Sheldon Whitehouse and Ron Wyden, that the U.S. Attorney General should appoint a special counsel to investigate potential criminal violations of federal ethics and tax laws by Thomas. These are just the most recent protests in Washington circles concerning the two justices amid accusations of financial corruption over gifts and favors and lack of political neutrality in their work. There are more details to come soon, but this is a pretty dramatic move, and who knows where this might go. We know, of course, there was a special counsel that was appointed to oversee the Trump election interference case. I'm talking about the Bob Mueller investigation that really didn't seem to go anywhere. And some students of politics believe it only empowered former President Trump. And so we'll see where this goes. We know that this election is in uncharted waters in so many different ways. And this is just the latest addition to that. Moving along, NBC News is reporting that Nancy Pelosi stopped short of saying Biden should stay in the race, says time is running short for him to decide. That's right. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi held back today from a full-throated endorsement of President Biden staying in the 2024 race, saying that it's up to him whether to run, but warned that the clock is ticking. Yeah, that's what former House Speaker Pelosi said today. She indicated that she couldn't say whether Biden has the overwhelming support of congressional Democrats, especially because she's not in the leadership role anymore. Asked if she wants him to run, Pelosi said, quotes, "I want him to do whatever he decides to do. And that's the way it is. Whatever he decides, we go with." In a statement later on Wednesday, Pelosi spokesman Ian Krager reiterated, quote, "Speaker Pelosi fully supports whatever President Biden decides to do. We must turn our attention to why this race is so important. Donald Trump would be a disaster for our country and our democracy. Pelosi's remarks from her interview, however, are highly notable as she remains a prominent member of the Democratic caucus as Speaker Emerita, whose rank and file still look to her for guidance. Yeah, not exactly a full-throated endorsement to stay the course. We'll see what becomes of that. But it's not just Pelosi. Another political figure of Italian heritage also had something to say. A former Italian prime minister has weighed in on this. Take a listen to what he had to say. All right, while we're waiting for that to queue up. Moving along, Donald Trump challenges Joe Biden to another debate. He attacks immigrants. And, well, here are 4 big takeaways from the Trump rally. USA Today is reporting that the former president returned to the campaign trail on Tuesday and mockingly challenged President Biden to another debate after the incumbent president's rocky performance last month, taunting Democrats who want Biden to drop out and allow Vice President Harris or another Democrat to enter the ring. Trump said during a sweltering Florida campaign stop that he would give the incumbent president a chance to, quote, redeem himself with another debate this week. Biden and Trump have already agreed to a September 10th debate hosted by ABC News, but Trump didn't only bash Biden and Harris during the Florida rally, he also again used dehumanizing language about undocumented immigrants as he laid out his border priorities for a second term. Trump has long vowed mass deportations across the country if he returns to the White House. And border debates have taken center stage during his third White House bid. And so 4 takeaways from Trump's Florida campaign rally. Number 1, bashing Biden while he's down. Trump, who has laid low in recent days as Democrats have debated Biden's age and mental fitness, sought to take full advantage of concerns from Democratic voters and lawmakers. We're also seeing Trump targeting Harris just in case. Trump, who said Monday that Biden may well hang on to the nomination, spent most of Florida attacking the incumbent, but also found time to go after potential replacement Harris. At one point, Trump claimed that some Democrats would be reluctant to elevate Harris, and that's why Biden picked her in the first place. The best insurance policy I've ever seen. That's what he said. We already talked about attacking undocumented immigrants and, of course, sidestepping the running mate search. Trump staged his Florida rally as he prepares to announce his running mate. It featured one of the top contenders, Senator Marco Rubio. The former president, made several positive references to Rubio during the speech, noting at one point that the two played rough during the 2016 Republican primary. But you all remember when he called Senator Rubio Little Marco, and it actually seemed to stick a little bit. During the campaign, Rubio called Trump a con man with small hands, but he became more supportive after Trump won the White House. And so that is what's happening with Trump on the campaign trail. A few moments ago, we were going to play you a clip of the former Italian prime minister sort of weighing in on this debate about whether or not President Biden jump out of the race. Take a listen to what he had to say.
I'm a friend of Joe Biden. I think that it's time for him to leave because we know, particularly after the terrible debate on CNN 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, I think it's clear the message. The people don't look the reality, don't look the facts, don't look the quotes of President Trump. The people look the situation, the physical situation of Joe Biden. But and for that, I think he have to leave. I'm a friend of Joe Biden. I think that it's time for him to leave.
And that's the former Italian prime minister. Even though he is the former, that's nothing you want to hear from a foreign ally, especially the week of NATO here in Washington, D.C. Another thing that some folks in the electorate may not want to hear is that ahead of the Republican convention, Nikki Haley's telling her delegates to vote for Trump. NPR is reporting that the former South Carolina governor, Nikki Haley, who unsuccessfully ran for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, is releasing all 97 of her delegates and encouraging them to support former President Trump at the Republican National Convention just around the corner in Milwaukee next week. Haley's encouragement to RNC delegates to back Trump was first reported by Politico, and a spokeswoman for Haley says that she will not attend the convention. Let me get this straight. You spent all that time saying that we can't let him back into the Oval Office, that he is unfit to be president. You mount a campaign against him. The Republican Party largely goes with him, but you're able to peel off a little less than 100 delegates. And you instruct your delegates to vote for Trump. Meanwhile, you're not even invited to the convention. Now, I know I just reported, at least according to NPR, that she's not attending the convention, but the streets are saying not only she's not attending, she wasn't invited. So who knows? Who knows? But what we do know is that it looks like salt in the wound. There's no other way to look at it. I mean, is there any way that the former governor gets to walk away from this contest with some level of dignity? 97 delegates are not going to make the difference whether or not Trump secures the nomination or not. Did she really have to do it? I don't think so. Maybe you think differently. Who knows? But when we come forward, we'll be joined with Isaac Wilson. He is a Democratic strategist on the ground in South Carolina, a very important state in the political world of Joe Biden. Isaac Wilson's going to give his take on some of the most recent rumblings, including George Clooney. He released an op-ed to the New York Times today saying that the president should step aside. Isaac Wilson has something to say about this, and we're going to hear it when we come forward. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580 is now celebrating 3 years of amplifying our voice and uplifting our community. We deeply appreciate your support of this radio station and will always do our level best to earn your support. Here's to many more years of loving and serving our community. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black.
We're with Bridget, whose husband won't be home for months, and whose daughter is due any day. We're with Mike, who's leaving home to protect his family and yours. We're with all service members and their families who need community, connection, and maybe a bit of magic. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZzzQuil.
ZzzQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZzzQuil nights. Explore our products at ZzzQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey LA, today I'm here to talk to you about Grid Alternatives, which is a nonprofit in LA that focuses on renewable energy. We serve communities who have been left out of the renewable energy sector. We offer paid job training, and in 13 weeks, you can become a solar installer. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry, and once you're hired in the industry, you stop at a high, medium income. That could be $20 an hour or more. 80% of our graduates get hired into the industry. Call today so you don't be left out at 323-861-0105 or gridalternatives.org, gridalternatives.org.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate meets a scholarly match.
Listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, and momentarily we'll be joined by Isaac Wilson. He is a Democratic strategist in South Carolina, and he is also the Democratic Party chair for, is it the Florence County Democratic Party? Did I get that right, Isaac?
County in big old South Carolina.
In big old South Carolina. Well, I have a sense that you have something to say about what's becoming a big old problem for President Biden and the Democrats since the Democratic debate, since the CNN debate, the past 11 days or so. Every single day, people have been talking about Biden's age and his mental fitness and whether or not he should drop out of the race. It has not subsided. And to make matters worse, one of the biggest Democratic fundraisers for Biden piled on today. George Clooney, who co-hosted a recent Biden fundraiser, says the president should step aside in the 2024 election. ABC News is reporting that actor George Clooney, who just weeks ago hosted a fundraiser for President Biden's reelection campaign, called for the president to exit the 2024 race in a New York Times op-ed that was published today. And he said, listen to this, Isaac. He said, quote, "I love Joe Biden as a senator, as a vice president, and as president. I consider him a friend, and I believe in him, believe in his character, believe in his morals. In the last 4 years, he's won many of the battles he's faced, but the only battle he cannot win is the fight against time. None of us can. It's devastating to say it, but the Joe Biden I was with 3 weeks ago at the fundraiser was not the Joe big effing deal Biden of 2010. He wasn't even the Joe Biden of 2020. He was the same man we all witnessed at the debate." Isaac, what's your reaction to this op-ed piece from George Clooney?
I think it's hogwash. I really think that if you had a problem with Joe Biden, why would you host a fundraiser for him just 3 weeks ago? You made it very clear that he wasn't the same Joe Biden from 2010, and then he wasn't the same Biden from 2020. But yet, you still hosted a fundraiser for him 3 weeks ago. So it just seems crazy to me, and it seems like he's being a follower. He's waiting until things happen or wait till other people come out, and now you want to come out when you had all the chances in the world to say that to Joe Biden and not host a fundraiser for him. So I think it's a bunch of hogwash with all these people coming, and I think it's just a ripple effect of people just want to be seen at this point.
Now, one of the things that George Clooney addresses in this op-ed is sort of the messiness. And we certainly have heard a lot of Democrats say, well, even if the president decided to step back weeks ahead of the Democratic convention, it could be very messy in terms of securing a new nominee and vice presidential nominee. In the op-ed, Clooney says, would it be messy? Yes, democracy is messy, but would it enliven our party and wake up voters who long before the June debate had already checked out, it sure would. What effect do you think that would have among South Carolina voters if there was to be a switcheroo on the Democratic ticket?
It would definitely be a problem. I don't think that person would have enough time to win over the people of South Carolina, and it wouldn't win over the country. So we need to get behind our president, the president that bought us from COVID, the president that did the largest infrastructure bill in American history, the president that cleaned over $1.9 billion of student debt from people in this country. He's doing the work. And so to change that in the middle of a election year, I think it's totally crazy. And if we're going to be honest about it, the Republicans have showed you the rule book. They said no matter what, they're going to back Donald Trump. This man's mental state is saying what he's saying and backing a Project 2025. You guys are more concerned with Granddaddy Joe than you are with this man changing. So, you know, we need to think about that. Elect Joe Biden, get behind him no matter what, and take it all the way to the White House and win this election for the people of this country.
But I've got to follow up on a few things. One, we know that South Carolina Representative Jim Clyburn was quoted just last week. I think it was a USA Today article, saying that he's with Biden-Harris, and he had said, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm with Biden-Harris, and if Biden decides differently, then I'm with Harris. Biden. Is that sentiment consistent with what you're hearing on the ground among other South Carolinians? Do they see the vice president, as a continuation of the progress that they've witnessed, that they support under Joe Biden?
Yes, that is the sentiment on the ground here from my county and counties around the state here, that we would want the support of Kamala Harris so she can continue to do what they've already done for the past 4 years. And so if that isn't the way that the party is going to go, then we have a bigger chaos. But the people of South Carolina is behind Kamala Harris. She comes here often. We know her. We love her. And we know that she cares about the people of South Carolina. So we're behind her if that is to happen.
Well, that's important to know. It's important to know as this debate continues. How much longer can Democrats continue to engage in this hand-wringing before it really has irreversible effects heading into November?
They need to clean the house. They need to clean this up right now. We cannot, as Democrats, take this to Chicago to the convention and create a whole big mess there. We need to have a plan of action on what we're going to do when we walk into that convention in August. So this needs to be wrapped up in a week or so, and we need to be focusing on whoever the candidate is going to be. If it's going to be Joe Biden, which I think it will, then we need to be focusing on that and carrying that to convention. If it's not, and he decides to step down, we need to have a clear plan of what that looks like going into the convention, and not make a mockery of the institution of this convention, and make a mockery of ourselves.
It seems to me that part of the challenge that the Democratic Party is facing right now, it's not just a message problem in terms of breaking through, and to the point that you made earlier, reminding people of what this president and vice president have done to deliver for voters, but what they will do in the face of a very extreme plan to undo so many things we take for granted by way of Project 2025. It seems to me it's not just a message problem, it's a messenger problem. I mean, why aren't there more surrogates for the president and vice president that are, out there on the airwaves, redirecting people's attention?
Yeah, we definitely need that, and I think that's what we should have done. I think when after the debate, we should have had surrogates on the ground. Every surrogate that's a celebrity, has a name behind them. We should have had them rally around the president and go out into the TV airways, go out over the radio airways, and support the president for what he's done, but what he's going to continue to do, and then denounce Donald Trump for who he is. So we definitely need different messengers that people are going to listen to, that they're going to follow, because it's not resonating with the people now. So we definitely need to find those messengers. The biggest message I think we have is Gavin Newsom. He needs more TV time. He's great. Gretchen Whitmire needs to be on the road. So we need these people out being seen and heard from the people in this country.
Well, I know, a week ago, or almost 2 weeks ago, at the CNN presidential debate, I had a chance to talk with Governor Newsom, and totally understand, how well he seems to connect the dots between what this president has done, what this president intends to do, in contrast to what the former president has done and what the former president intends to do. I can tell you, I was a little shocked after the debate that really the two of the most prominent Democrats I saw in the spin room were Governor Gavin Newsom of California and Senator the senator from Georgia. I can say that it was only the two of them. You didn't see nearly enough Democrats, but you saw the Republicans sort of flood the zone with surrogates. And so I'm saying, we got to get out of our own way. And that may be one of the low-hanging pieces of fruit that we can reach for in the midst of this chaos. More with Isaac Wilson. He is a Democratic strategist joining us from South Carolina. And you're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is standing behind President Joe Biden. Johnson, who was Black, posted on X that he is proud to continue supporting President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris in this election. He added that we must be united to ensure that Biden and Harris are reelected and Donald Trump is defeated once and for all. His comments come after he and other Democratic mayors joined a call with President Biden on Tuesday as the president continues to try and save his candidacy after his poor debate performance. A new law requires West Virginia's Bureau for Behavioral Health to conduct a study on homelessness. The details of that first study have been released. Nearly 58% of those without a place to call home are men, and almost half are in the age range of 25 to 44 years old. Despite the state having less than 4% of residents identifying as Black or African American, about 13% who are experiencing homelessness are part of that demographic. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Hey DQ fans, behold the DQ freezer. Not just an ordinary freezer, but an extraordinary freezer, holding all of the DQ Blizzard Treat flavors of the past. Now it's opening its doors for the Salted Caramel Truffle Blizzard Treat, only at participating DQ locations.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The next opportunity for you to evaluate Bronny James and his NBA future happens today at 4 p.m. LeBron's son and the Lakers rookie team will play the Miami Heat in the final game of the California Classic in San Francisco. Bronny sat out Monday's game with a sore left knee, but he will be in the lineup today. You can catch the game live on ESPN2. After the game, the Lakers rookie team heads to Las Vegas to get ready for the NBA Summer League. The Sparks lost at home to Minnesota last night. The Sparks are now 5-16 in the WNBA. They are 1-10 since June 9th. The Dodgers were pounded by Philadelphia last night. Dodgers right-hander Bobby Miller gave up 9 earned runs in just 4 innings. Congratulations to Corey Thompson. He's the new men's basketball coach at Winston-Salem State University. Thompson played at the HBCU school from 1998 to 2002. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Environmental justice is racial justice. Environmental justice is social justice. This is KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
SoCal on July 14th. We're the world's greatest basketball in the summer. The Big Three. There's simply no comparison, no competition. They not like us. That's right, they not like us. We own the summer with our traditional hard-nosed brand of basketball. The Big Three, founded by Ice Cube. Yes. It's professional 303 basketball with former NBA greats and Hall of Fame coaches. Come out to the Honda Center July 14th. Hang with your homeboy Ice Cube and watch the greatest game in the summer. It's your homeboy Ice Cube. It's the Big Three, Season 7, the hottest game of the summer. I'll be in the house with your favorite Big Three players and Hall of Fame coaches. Get your tickets at big3.com/tickets. Oh, yay.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga. My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we do more than just talk.
You got a big mouth.
We're unapologetically progressive and we don't black down.
KBLA Talk 1580. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey. I'm really delighted to welcome back to the show my friend, our friend, Isaac Wilson. He is the Democratic strategist, and he is the Democratic Party chair for Florence County, South Carolina, and he is here with us today. Welcome back, Isaac.
Yes, glad to be on.
So there have been these attacks by conservatives. We're certainly not surprised about it. Conservatives are already attacking Vice President Harris as a, quote, DEI hire. The Cut reported that the crisis unleashed by President Biden's debate performance has not let up, with many wondering how to replace him at the top of the Democratic ticket and whether the person to do that should be Vice President Harris. And the question has inevitably led to some conservatives engaging in a little thinly veiled racism and sexism, as the New York Post did in a widely panned op-ed over the weekend that declared, quote, America may soon be subjected to the country's first DEI president, Kamala Harris. What say you about this line of attack, Isaac?
It shows you who they are. It shows you the kind of administration that it will be. It shows you the kind of people that they are. And so it should show people that we do not need Donald Trump elected. These will be his goons who will do his dirty work for him. And so to attack the first Black Asian woman to be vice president, I said that says a lot about where we are in America. It says a lot about the democracy that they claim to fight for. And it just shows Black Americans simply that you guys really don't care about us in this country. And so we've been feeling that way forever. And to take this country backwards when we've come out of so much and so much work to still do, to have that kind of language is just appalling. And again, it just shows you who they are as a party.
But how likely is this line of attack to backfire? Jawan Yvette on social media said, quote, "These people use DEI to imply that BIPOC, meaning Black, Indigenous, people of color, are chosen strictly for the color of our skin. That's the ignorant, shallow thinking of racists. Madam Vice President Kamala Harris is more than qualified, but their racism and ignorance won't let them see that. Disgusting." And there are a number of other comments on social media similar to that. Another person in the social media verse, the Corey Richardson, saying, quotes, "When the newspaper and folks on the right call Kamala Harris a DEI candidate, it just reminds Black folks that our work and values never given equal weight to that of white men. Be careful. You might just get Black voters re-engaged." Isaac, I've got to ask you, might that unite Democrats across the country? Might that be an attack line that re-engages Black folks across the country, particularly in South Carolina?
It could engage some, but being that she is pretty much not the nominee at this point, I think it doesn't move the needle much. I think people are just so focused on Joe Biden's age. They're so focused on, can he be, well off in office, that they're not even thinking about the attacks about Kamala Harris, the disgusting comments. So I don't think it'll move it that much. It'll move it a little bit. It'll get some people who are involved, some people like you and I, those professional people. It'll probably drive them to say, hey, that's going to make me go vote. But other than that, I just don't think it moves the needle that much for the people here in South Carolina, that much at all.
Yeah. Well, moving along, switching gears a little bit, the Washington Post is reporting that many universities are abandoning race-conscious scholarships worth millions. And so I just want to connect the dots that former President Trump's appointees to the Supreme Court, his nominees to the Supreme Court, were a part of beginning to undo any form of race-conscious admission in this country. And that's just scratching the surface in terms of what these conservative activists on the Supreme Court have been able to do. And so this story is an outgrowth from that. We probably wouldn't be talking about universities abandoning race-conscious scholarships worth millions if the Supreme Court hadn't taken a cudgel to universities' ability to be able to practice some form of race-conscious admission. Duke University recently discontinued a 45-year-old scholarship that covered tuition, currently about $66,000 a year, and housing costs of some Black undergraduate students. The University of Iowa has changed the selection criteria for its Advantage Iowa Award, which dispenses more than $9 million a year in financial help to first-year students from historically underrepresented groups, and across four University of Missouri systems. Across four campuses, the University of Missouri system, officially they're changing the eligibility rules for $17.2 million in institutional and donor-funded scholarships earmarked for students from certain racial and ethnic groups. Is this just the tip of the iceberg, Isaac?
Oh yes, they're coming after everything. Part of Project 2025 is just banning Department of Education. And so what that's going to do is that's going to change Title I and probably get rid of that. And we know that goes directly to our food programs. It goes to our after school programs. It goes to subsidies for minority families and low income families. So they're taking this thing piece by piece and dismantling it, and we have to pay attention to it to stop someone from getting a scholarship for the color of their skin when it's designed for that. I think is that is it's appalling that they're worried about that. And in this country, we're saying that everybody has opportunities in this country. Well, it seems that you're taking them away when we fought so hard to get there to have an equal playing field. And they're saying we're not going to play by that anymore, that we're going to take that equilibrium away from you and you're going to go up by your own bootstraps. So I just think it's appalling and we have to pay attention.
Yeah, and the Washington Post is also reporting that Republican state leaders and conservative activists say that race-conscious scholarships and grants disadvantage white students in the same way as race-conscious admission policies. They're not even hiding that. The court's ruling, which overturned the use of race in college admissions, didn't mention financial aid, but conservatives say that universities should interpret it broadly to eliminate any race-based policies. And so to your point, Isaac, if the 2025 plan, Project 2025, if it goes into effect and it begins to dismantle the Department of Education, folks should know there's an Office of Civil Rights within the Department of Education. And when you have, schools and universities that are violating the civil and human rights of students, of parents, they're able to step in to stop it. And so if you take away the Department of Education, you take away the ability for the federal government to intervene when these states decide that they're going to eliminate race-conscious everything. That's what's on the ballot. So as much as people want to, hem and haw and wring their hands around Joe Biden and whether or not, he stays or goes, right? Every single day we hem and haw over this and wring our hands over this is one less day that we're sharing information like this, that we're connecting the dots to voters that may not be paying as close attention to this day to day. This is what's on the ballot. Any final thoughts you want to share, Isaac?
I totally agree with you. I think we have to stop thinking about the top of the ticket, and we got to start thinking about what other things are at stake here. Senate seats, there's House of Representatives seats. When you talk about local races, we have a chance here to keep this momentum and keep changing things and making the quality of life better for everyone. And so we have a president who believes in that. We have a vice president who's fighting for that every day. And we have people in the Senate and in the House that are fighting for that every day. It's about those people who are going to make the laws, send you the monies, all that good stuff. There's only so much that Joe Biden can do for himself. So the people that are actually working, this election is about them too. It's consequential. So we got to stop thinking so much about Joe and start thinking about what else is at stake, like democracy on the ballot. So I hope people get it, but it takes people like you and I to keep having these conversations and bringing people in, and I hope that they'll get it before it's too late.
I hope so too. I hope so too. We're certainly going to do our part as the only Black owned and operated talk station west of the Mississippi that prides ourselves on being about more than just talk. We're going to be sure to provide people with information that they can trust so that they can make the best decisions for themselves and their families this election cycle. And I just want to double click on something you said, which is, it's up and down the ballot. We've been hyper-focused on the top of the ballot, but groups like Moms for Liberty, who've been quite successful in electing their candidates, they're very conservative school board members across the country, they've been focusing on those down ballot races. And so it would be wise for Democrats and all those who believe in democracy to do the same. My thanks to Isaac Wilson, Democratic strategist and chair of the Florence County Democratic Party, joining us from South Carolina. Please come back again soon, my friend.
Always.
When we come forward, guess which president's daughter is hoping to help the gay community by coming out? We'll tell you who when we come forward. You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is an intervention. When we come forward, it includes you. KBLA Talk 1580, turning pain into power.
Oh, man. Looks like Bobby needs a ride to the airport again.
Grab the keys.
Who's taking Auntie and her friends to the swap meet?
Grab the keys.
How about we drop these boxes off at Miss Johnson?
Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, you're all about getting things done. So do it all in a Chevy SUV. From the versatile Equinox and Sporty Blazer to the roomy Traverse, our lineup of SUVs will carry you through every adventure. All you have to do is
grab the keys.
That's how we do. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $28.60 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8%. Must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
Getting connected has never been easier. Get free Wi-Fi at all LA County library locations, inside the library and outside in the parking lots. Visit your local library and get connected today.
Our city's hottest weeks of summer are approaching. If you're 60 or older, you're at risk of heat stroke or worse. Extreme heat can kill. That's why KBLA Talk 1580 is part of our year-long climate justice campaign. Has partnered with the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power and the LA City Department of Aging for LADWP's Powered by Equity event, Heat Relief for Seniors Resource Fair. Join fellow LA seniors who hope to beat the heat and stay safe on Monday, July 15th, 10 a.m. at the Watts Labor Community Action Center in South Los Angeles. Learn about LADWP's Easy Save and Level Pay programs to help lower your monthly electric bill. And there will be tips and resources to be ready and safe in the heat. LADWP customers 60 years or older will be eligible to receive a portable air conditioner while supplies last. Personal ID and your LADWP bill are required. Contact your LA Department of Aging Neighborhood Senior Center for Cool LA Heat Relief for Seniors participation details or visit www.ladwp.com/events.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Work is busy, and home, pretty much the same. But you wouldn't know it because my skin doesn't look stressed thanks to Olay Retinol Body Wash. Its hydrating formula is packed with vitamin B3 complex plus retinol. I use Olay Retinol Body Wash to transform my skin from dry to moisturized and visibly renewed. Sure, I still have stress, but my skin looks amazing. Try Olay Retinol Body Wash for visibly renewed skin in just 14 days. Also try Retinol 24 Body Lotion.
Hey, LA, it's time to step up and be a climate change hero. Go Metro and help us shape a better future for all Angelinos. From enhancing our diverse communities to preserving our planet, Metro is dedicated to making a positive impact with every ride. Start your journey at metro.net.
KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Ew,
Gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in 1 wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Hi, it's me, Gia Peppers. Tune in to More Than That live on radio this weekend or wherever you get your podcast. This week, I'm talking to young farmer DeAnthony Jamerson about carrying on his grandfather's legacy, his family's historic land, and the importance of supporting Black farmers in this country. This episode of More Than That is brought to you by Kroger, making fresh and nutritious food more accessible to our communities. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Can you tell me about how your family preserved and protected this farm for literally hundreds of years? And do you know any like generational stories of triumph that really are close to your heart?
So the story that originated, and this is a passed down history, right? So like my brother's middle name, for instance, is Levi. And we got Levi from Levi Greer, who was actually a slave owner, right? He came to this area in 1855 with Ann Greer, which was his slave. He had several kids with her. He brought her here, bought 50 acres of land and deeded it out to her and the kids. So that's where that start came. So she's actually known to be one of the first African-American women to be owning land in Indiana at this time.
When did you yourself fall in love with this tradition of taking care of this land?
Farming, it's been pretty much a part of my life ever since I got here. Always been around the farm with my grandparents. So it's been in my DNA. That's what kind of got me moving in that direction.
I've never met nobody who had the land in their family from 1855. What do you hope to inspire in your kids? What do you hope your kids are learning watching you?
I just want them to keep that land in our family and see about, supplying their community.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, Black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
Watch out! The galaxy is safe once again.
In the pretend universe, kids play with pretend guns. In the real world, it's up to us to make sure they don't get their hands on a real gun. If you have a gun in the house, keep it locked, unloaded, and stored separately from ammunition. Safe gun storage saves lives. Learn how to make your home safer at endfamilyfire.org. That's endfamilyfire.org. Brought to you by End Family Fire, Brady, and the Ad Council.
Heard any other talk radio lately that sounds anything like this? I didn't think so. You're listening to Unapologetically Progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk 1580. Just a reminder that July 23rd is the big day. My new book, Kamala, The Motherland and Me, will be officially released. Right now it's available on pre-order. You can just go on Amazon or Barnes & Noble and pre-order your copy. It's an invitation to challenge some of our assumptions about Madam Vice President, Africa, and ourselves. And in the book, I write a little bit about one of the anti-LGBTQ bills that at the time was making its way through the Ghanaian parliament. That bill, one of the most far-reaching anti-LGBTQ bills on the continent at the moment, did pass through the parliament and is just, one of the latest examples of some of the challenges around civil and human rights for all people, including but not limited to our LGBTQ brothers, sisters, and siblings. Keeping with that thought, NBC News is reporting that the daughter of Cameroon's president hopes to help the country's gays by coming out. The daughter of Cameroon's president said that she hoped that by coming out as a lesbian, she can help change laws that ban homosexuality in the country. Brenda Bia, who lives between the United States and Switzerland, came out in an Instagram post on June 30th in an interview with a French newspaper published not far after that. The 27-year-old said that she had not come out to her family before she publicly posted a photo of her kissing her girlfriend. Same-sex relations are punishable by up to 5 years in prison under Cameroon's penal code. Her father, Paul Bia, 91, who has led Cameroon for 4 decades, has not publicly commented on the matter. Brenda Bia said the law punishing gay sex existed before her father came into power in 1982, and she hopes her story will lead to change in that legislation. And so that's an example of some of the civil and human rights work that's afoot on the continent that's not disconnected from some of the civil and human rights work that's afoot here in the United States. We'll have to leave it there. My thanks to the village that helps us produce a more perfect union each and every day. Our executive producer, Tavis Smiley, our sound engineer, Miles Lowe, our show producer, Robert Battles, and our podcast publishing guru, Odell Bodie. Remember, don't panic, organize, do what you can from where you are with what you have. I'm Dr. Nii-Quartelai Quartey, and you've been listening to A More Perfect Union on KBLA Talk